Here we go with Pliny, book 8, letter number 5. Pliny's writing to Rosinus Geminus. Geminus here in the dative. So, gravis vulnus, grave for a neuter, a serious wound, noster macrinus, our macrinus has accepted or received. It doesn't look like it's a flesh wound because amissit uxum, he's lost his wife. Singularis exempli. Even see if she had been olim some time ago, once upon a time, even if she had lived so far away, she would have been a singular example of a woman. Vixit cum hac, looks like he lived with her for triginta novem annus, for a period of 39 years. Sine Eurgio, sine offensa. A Eurgio would be a serious fight, and without offensa, so it's translated by some as misunderstandings, but it's that sort of thing. So it looked like it was pretty harmonious. Quam reverentiam, okay, so illa she praised it, she showed herself to a dative, to her marito, to her husband, with such reverence or something similar. When ipsa she herself, merito, she'd deserved the summum, the highest reverentia, so they were very respectful to each other. Quot, how many or something like that, and quantus, and the quality or types of virtues from diversus aeternibus, so from the different ages of life, sumptas are taken up so many in different quantities of valor and virtues, it looks like. I guess it's talking about how she has collected them and mixed in all these different types of virtues. Quidam, indeed, Macronius, habit he has, a grande solarcium. Again, like wellness, it's a neuter, so it takes an E instead of the IS. So he has a great solace, I was just say quad that, tantum bonum, that he had such a good, and tam duio, for so long, he tenuated. So it held such a good wife for so long, you might want to say. It was 39 annuses. But this exacerbates magus more quod amissit what he lost. So the very fact that she was so good and had for so long, it also exacerbates his pain. For fruendis voluptibus, this looks, as we know, fruor does take the ablative. The whole thing looks like a gerundive or something in the ablative. For the pleasures that are enjoyed, these crescits, this increases the dolor, or the pain or grieving of a dear one. Correndi comes from what you love or how expensive something is as well. So you can see that the pain is related to the pleasures and happiness he's had as well. 3. Ero comes from sum. I shall be, ergo, then, you might want to say, therefore, then I shall be suspensus. It usually means undetermined or hanging. It can mean anxiety or anxious. So I'll be anxious, pro homine amic. This is a superlative. For a man so loved, you might want to say, something like that. While or until, dum admittere, it's probably an infinitive from possit, while he admits or accepts an evocamenta. This is, looks like it's a calling away. It's a relaxation or distraction. So while he's dealing, he needs to be distracted from it, and he allows, also from the possit, he's able to allow cicatricums, which are scars. So he's anxious for this beloved man, and until he gets caught up in some distractions and allows the scars to heal, it looks like, or the wound to be healed over because it was a grave illness. Quam neo, which nothing. Equia necessitatis. Necessitas. Gee, I'd have trouble talking to a Roman. Looks like equal in necessity. It's ipsa itself. Okay, so which nothing looks like is necessarily equal able to induce it or lead, except for longer days. DAs here would be time, so it's going to take a long time and a satiety or having too much dolorous of pain. So this last little bit, yeah, the necessity itself is it's going to take a lot of time, and he's going to have to fill up with a lot of grief before he does allow this to be healed. And Vale, farewell. It's another short letter. So we'll have a daily dictionary word after that first letter. Avocamentum. Second declension, the distraction, diversion, recreation, and relaxation. And also, I'll throw in suspensus here. In suspense, he was anxious. It's not one of the main translations, avocamentum, but second declension in the top 20,000 words. Okay, Pliny to Montanus. Cognivisse, it's a perfect infinitive. It looks like debes is the verb controlling that. So now already, you ought to have got to know, debes is you ought to have, from my epistle, from the letter which you would have received, you would add notated me. You would have noticed me. I've noticed Nupa recently a monument. These can be from a burial, but other kinds of monuments. A monument to or of Palantis, and a subhack under this monument, I'd say, an inscription under this. To him, Huic, dative, the Senate, because of his fidem, because of his loyalty or trustworthiness, and his pietatem, his piety, erga, towards the patrons, looks like the Senate has decreed the ornamenta praetoria, so it's an apposition. This is these decorations of a praetorian, and sestertium centis quinquid blah blah blah, which is 15 million sestertes. The sestertium controls the how many zeros you put on it, really. So that's quite a lot of money, of which Cuis contentus fuit, he had been content with just the honour, so the decoration of praetorian, of being a praetor. Okay. Postea, so afterwards, visum est to me, it seemed to me, to quere, to make an inquiry of the pretium, this reward or price of the work of the consultum. This is a decree of the senatus, fourth declension. So he's decided to investigate this, really, and in Veni I found so copious and effusum. So he's looking at the decree itself. It's copious, which means there's a lot of stuff in it, and effusum, which we see is this too many words basically. Let me check this other one. Verbose and fulsome, we see it in the lobe. So that ille superbissimus titulus, so this most, you might say, arrogant title or proudful title, which we saw, seemed modicus and etiam demissus. So it seemed far short, really, of what he deserved. I'm saying modicus means moderate, and demissus seems to have not been a reward enough. They seem to have dismissed how great he was. Conferret, say, in miscianqui, so bring together and mix them up. Not speaking of illi veteres, which I'm not speaking of those people who are ancient veterans. Usually you put accusative or something there, but anyway, I'm not going to go another. So not the veteran heroes like Africani, Archae, and Numantini, but high Proximi. But these more recent people, the Mari, the Sullae, and the Pompeii, and nolo progredo longi. So I don't want to progress, that's the infinitive for a deponent, any further. But they were all lying, Jacobonting, infra. So the praise for these people is lying below that of what this investigation of Palantis should be. So we've really only got 6 names here, 3 old ones and 3 modern ones. And so he's done a big investigation into this. And okay, in 3, it's not the most interesting thing. Putem might think that Urbanos or Miserere, those who censor illa, those who have decreed this, should I think them Urbanos, which is refinement and with wit, or Miseros or wretched, those who decided this, you might want to say. Dicaram, if I'm to say they're refined and witty, Urbanos, if the Senate decorate, this is putting on adornments or getting dressed. So if the Senate decorates itself with these refinements, the urbanitatis, or contrarily, if it's wretched, but nemo tam miseris, no one is so wretched that cogitory is forced into illa, such things. Now we've seen illi up here, which illi is only used for dative singulars, plural male and vocative male as well. And illa is female and plural neuters. So, ergo, therefore then, ambition and this libido and a lust of procedendi, lust for getting promoted, you might want to say, proceeding up the ranks of Roman society. Said quiz, but who, adio, this is correlatives, who is demens, who is crazy, adio, to such an extent that per sum, through his own, per publicum, through the public, velet, he wants to proceed deidecus. So he wants to proceed or be progressing in their social ranks through deidecus, which is a dishonour, so through their own dishonour or through public dishonour, that in ius civitate, in this state, in which, hic esset, in which it is that usus florentissime digna, so the most flourishing sort of worthiness that you can use or take advantage of is that you're the primus, the first, in the senatu, in the Senate, able to praise, laudare, palantem. This is the guy we're talking about who we saw the monument of. It looks like this one's going to be a long letter. Mito, so I met or stop, quad that, the praetoria ornamentas, these the ornaments of the praetorian, or the garments, offered, taking the dative, to palantai, a slave, even though he wasn't a slave, he was a free man. And quippy sense, this was offered by slaves, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. It's the Senate slaves, but anyway, mito, and I met or stop, that what they decided or decreed was not an exhortandum, this is a gerund, not an urging modo, not only an urging or pressing, but even a compellendum. They're even compelling him ad usum aureum annulorum. This is to a gold ring. I think I was reading today in who was I reading? It's one of the poets. I think they said the equestrians have gold rings. Anyone below that has a iron ring. Anyway, erat annum contra, for this is against the majestatem senate. This is the majesty of the Senate, or its great natured, or it's a great bonus basically, the majestatem. If ferris praetorius userent, okay, so this is a deponent. So looks like, if a praetorian is going to use a ferris, an iron ring, so that would be something to do with wealth again, possibly what I just was explaining. Juvenal, Perseus, one of them it was, that was talking about the gold rings versus the iron rings. So we're not going to get this letter done in one day. Anyway, 5, Levia. Hey, these things are light and transient and can be passed over. These matters aren't too serious. Illa memoranda, so this thing must be remembered, that the nomine palant, the name of Palantus, the Senate will be doing this. I'm guessing that this must be remembered by the Senate, the name of Palantus, for neither has postea afterwards the curia, this is the Senate House, been expiated or purged of this, but the nomine Palantis, the name of Palantus, in the name of Palantus, the Senate, agadet gratias, gave their thanks, dative Caesaro, to Caesar, and quod et ipsi, and that even himself, made a mention with summa honours. So, yeah, made a mention with the greatest honours of him himself, and Prosecutus has followed up also, and to the Senate was the facultatum, the opportunity or the means of testandoing towards him benevolentia suum. So the Senate got to basically with their own testimonies and their own goodwill towards him. Uh, so there's a group of different people here. We've got the Senate, we've got Caesar, and they all are giving thanks to him. Though it doesn't look like Pliny seems to like him too much, but that'll do for the day.